Mr. Suarez. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, City staff, residents. Thank you for coming. So, as discussed earlier, the new pool is built as a resort-style pool. And as I was reviewing the current photos of the existing pool, the Google Maps photos, and comparing them to the design's layout that we have, the first thing that stuck out to me is that deck is huge. The amount of concrete deck space, square footage, which I tried to look through and see if there was some place where it had the actual square footage of the deck space, and I didn't see one. I'd like to find out how much deck space is in that current plan. But it's a huge deck space. It's a lot of cost to build that deck that's going into that deck space. And why is it so much larger? Well, because we're going to put in, I think, about a dozen or so cabanas to rent to residents who use that pool. So the current proposal includes a new 5,110 square foot recreational multi-use building in addition to that pool and the excess decking. So the idea is we're going to make money off the rental of the multi-use facility, and we're going to make money off the rentals of the cabanas. But where's the business plan? Where are the projected sales, revenues? Where are the projected expenses? As someone stated earlier, when is government good at running businesses? So one of my concerns here is there's a lot of, we're going to make revenues here. We're going to make revenues. Oh, if we get 130% from Willie, who's the pool expert, says you're going to get your return on this. That's great. I have nothing against Willie and the process that he's going through. But we want to see the numbers. Where's the revenue from? Where do you expect the sales of cabanas and rentals and of the multi-use facility? And how does that compare against your expenses? The city has yet to create a financial plan for the pool. The revenue plan is simply a guess that we're going to make money on this. The city believes it can make money before it puts together a ledger of all expected costs, projected use, and potential revenue. This may sound silly, but prudent financial planning includes a spreadsheet with your revenues and your expenses. It's pretty simple. Yet the city's banking $5 million on the current plan on the belief they can recoup the operating expenses. Maybe you guys are right, maybe you can. But let's put it in black and white so everybody here can see, hey, where we're going to make money in, what's the proposal in terms of the cabanas, the multi-use facility, etc. Now, I don't know about you, but when I think of resort-style pools, I'm thinking the Fountain Blue. Probably if you think of a resort-style pool here in South Florida, that's the #1 pool. Okay. You also have the Doral Pool, the Eden Rock. Those pools have something special. They've got resort guests. We won't have resort guests at a resort-style pool. Okay. We have our residents here of Miami Springs, a hardworking community. I don't think any of us believe our community pool is going to draw that South Beach crowd to our pool. Nor do we want it. Great point. I don't think we're going to have alcohol sales at our resort-style pool. Are we going to have cabana boys running around selling Mai Tais and pina coladas? I don't think so. Okay, when I think of resort-style pool, that's what I think of a resort-style pool. When folks are freely spending money, they're hanging out at the Atlantis, they're hanging out at the Fountain Blue, at the Eden Rock, they're trying to relax, having a great time, and they're spending money on everything. God bless them. But that's not what we're building here. This is a community pool. The biggest users of our pools have always been our youth, kids, teen, and young adults. Monday through Friday, I see that pool packed with kids using it. I don't see the youth pulling out money to rent cabanas. I just don't see it. I can tell you from firsthand basis, and I spent every summer here while I was in high school in that pool almost virtually every single day as long as it wasn't raining. I was at that pool. I'd go and take all the quarters out of my parents' quarter jar and go to pay for my entry fee. Trust me, I didn't have enough quarters to rent a cabana. Okay? So your Monday, I just don't see your Monday through Friday business plan renting cabanas to the youth. So we're sacrificing to make this pool smaller, a 4-lane, maybe 5-lane pool, as has been proposed here, to get significantly more deck space. Lots of cabanas that we're going to rent Monday through Friday, no problem. I just don't see it. Just don't see it happening. So we're sacrificing to make this pool smaller, and lots of extra deck space. The current plan calls for, again, the 5,110 square foot air-conditioned building to rent out for parties. Now, someone, I think Buzz alluded earlier, we have plenty of facilities to rent out. Why are we competing with ourselves? Plus, it's a pool, not a country club. When you come out of a pool and you're soaking wet, you don't want to go and mingle with the rest of your party in an air-conditioned building. You're going to be freezing. Okay. Does it make sense for us to have a covered patio that you can rent out? Absolutely. And it's obviously missing from our current pool. We don't have a large size covered patio to support party rentals. And that would be a great addition that I haven't seen as a concept here yet. But a large covered patio next to a concession stand where the folks can eat, sit down, buy some food, maybe buy a smoothie, that would be fantastic. The folks, I think, here would appreciate someplace to eat, someplace where they can jump under when it's raining, and hopefully not lightning, but can jump in and get away from the sun and have a smoothie or a drink or something to eat. That would be great. And that would, again, make money through your concession stand. All right. I fully, again, support the ability to rent the pool for parties, but again, covered patio areas, guys. As an alternative, I'm suggesting we keep the hybrid pool concept, which is the swimming lanes as well as that beach area, splash area. But we're not trying to create a South Beach pool for kids. We're trying to create a community pool for our entire community. My recommendations include the following. Increase the swim lanes to 8 lanes to support youth and competitive swimming for the next 50 years. I'll repeat that. Increase the swim lanes to 8 lanes to support youth and competitive swimming for the next 50 years. Reduce the amount of canopies and deck space to save on costs. Eliminate that 5,000 square foot building, that $632,000 rec/multi-use building. And I gotta say this because it's been bugging me. I've been hearing different things. Well, we're going to use it for rentals. We're going to be using it for rentals. We're going to be using it for rentals. Yet in the back of my mind, I have some fear that they're going to move that gym and put it as part of the facility in there. And that we're not going to make money off renting it. We're going to just, the gym and all the equipment that doesn't fit in the current gym is going to move into part of this facility here. And frankly, that's not what a pool is supposed to be. And in addition to that, we've got 3 workout facilities, private facilities for adults, between CrossFit and different gyms that we have here to support adult workout. We don't need more workout room. We need a new pool and a covered terrace or patio. A note about competitive swimming. It's been reiterated by the city and folks I've talked to that Doral is building a massive new competitive swimming pool, 50 meters by 25 yards with a roof too. In excess of $10 million, it's sure to lure some of the most elite swimmers in the entire county. Now, some have suggested that any child interested in competitive swimming will simply go to the Doral pool. And I'll say to you, what gives you any guarantee that our children will be accepted here, or will be able to afford it, or even afford the time that it takes to get to Doral? That pool is probably going to have the most elite swimmers, and it's going to be the most expensive pool in the entire county. Okay, the assumption that our residents are going to go there or go to Hialeah, I think is a misjudgment. Financing. Again, this is a $5 million project on the new pool. So instead of trying to get a less costly municipal bond, the city has opted to get a more expensive bank loan. Why? The bank loan means the council can add $5 million of debt on the taxpayers without a vote from the public. On the other hand, if the city had decided to issue a bond to pay for the new pool, it would require a public vote. So right now, via loan, the folks here have to come up here to speak to you, but don't get a chance to go to the polls and vote. Whereas if we had a municipal bond, they would have a chance to go out and vote on this issue. Comparable pools. As stated earlier, South Miami has a new aquatic center. 100,000-gallon swimming pool, features a zero-depth entry, basically the beach-style entry, like our concept has. It has a separate splash area for children. It's actually fenced off and separated from the pool area. I went by there yesterday and saw it. It has 3 swimming lanes, and I called up, confirmed it is 25-yard swim lanes. She told me it's 75 feet. I go, yeah, that's 25 yards. 25-yard by 3 lanes. They don't have the lap lanes yet and are working to get those installed. They did all that for $1.4 million. By my math, we can build for $5 million, we can build 3 pools just like South Miami's and have $8,000 to spare. That would give us 3 splash areas, 3 zero-entry pool areas, 9 swimming lanes, and still have an extra $800,000 to spare. So I ask you, what council will this be? Will this be the council that killed competitive swimming in Miami Springs for the next 50 years? Will this be the council that overspends on a resort-style pool? Or will this be the fiscally responsible council that builds a community pool for the youth? And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's the youth that use the pool. And the fiscally responsible way to build it is a community pool, not a resort-style pool, that supports our youth. And I hope you will also be the council that saves competitive swimming for the youth of Miami Springs for the next 50 years. I got one last note. Can we make sure that the residents get the council rate to enter the pool? Can we make sure that every member on council and their families pay the same rate as every resident? As I understand it today, council and family members get free entry to the pool. If I'm incorrect, please correct me. But all I ask is whatever rate the residents have to pay, council should pay the same. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna make sure. You couldn't.
No, I couldn't. I couldn't get into a.
Nobody could.
I couldn't get into a tip. We couldn't get into a tit for tat with them because they're up here on pure emotion, going based on what I consider to be a lie that they picked up from what I consider to be the equivalent of the National Enquirer that they find on a website. Okay, and that's unfortunate.
Yes, it is.
Okay, how many of you heard that Beyonce was getting divorced from Jay-Z?
Is she?
Yeah, you believe that?
No, I didn't hear about it.
It says it on the Enquirer, so it
I
must
gotta
be
call
true.
her up.
Okay,
It's my birthday.
what you see in a tabloid, what you see in a tabloid or in a website that has no credibility should not be considered a source of information from people. And unfortunately, anybody who considers MiamiSprings.com a source of information needs to, double check. I can agree to disagree many a times with what gets printed in the Gazette, but I can tell you that they print factual information. Sometimes we disagree, and I think maybe he did his opinion as opposed to fact, and he put it off as his. That happens a couple times. But at the end of the day, you didn't hear from the Miami Herald, you didn't hear from the New Times, you didn't hear from CNN or Fox News or any credible media outlet that Jay-Z and Beyonce were getting divorced. You heard it from the National Enquirer. Please don't believe that we're building a smaller pool, that we're not listening to people in the transparency. The National Enquirer / MiamiSprings.com has fed you a load of lies.
Really, Mr. Mayor? What did I lie about? To dismiss legitimate and honest concerns that I've repeated from the beginning as lies is unbecoming of the office of Mayor of Miami Springs.